Hey, what's going on, Banger TV? I am Connor, and I am back with another Overkill review, Banger's weekly metal review show. Before we get started, fuzzedbuzz.com, we got a bunch of stuff on the website. You should check that out. But something very special, Witchrot, they're coming out with a new album this year, and we are teaming up with a European label. You'll have to wait and see who that label is. I don't want to spoil too many things, but hey, let's just say Devil's Witches have been on that label. So I'll just leave it there. Today, we are reviewing probably one of my most anticipated records during the beginning half of 2025.
Like a soldier on a battlefield, glory into story, now I just can't heal. When a sharp cut slices through your brain, and it's torn to dust, well, there's a lingering pain.
So the song you just heard is called Dull Pain, and that is on the 10th studio album by Baltimore hard rockers, or I could even say early doom rockers, Pentagram, and that is out right now today on Heavy Psych Sounds. Let's get into the history about Pentagram, shall we? It gets a little bit disjointed because these guys have been around for so long and there is a literal laundry list of band members. But they started off in 1971 when Bobby met Jeff O'Keefe, Steve Martin, and Vincent. These guys were in the early stages of Pentagram. Well, they weren't even named Pentagram yet. It was Virgin Death, Wicked Angel. So when Bobby met Victor in around, the early 80s, maybe the late 70s, that is when Pentagram became Pentagram. Without Bobby and Victor meeting, it really wouldn't be anything. It still would have been in Bobby's mind, not putting it out into the world. When they met, the first record came out in 1985, and that was a serious, absolute mind bender of a record. And from then on, there's been 10 studio records, there's been some live stuff, there's been a couple 7-inches. But on this record here, the newest Pentagram album, Lightning in a Bottle, it does not have Victor or any original members except for Bobby. So, all of you diehard Pentagram fans, is this Pentagram? Well, let's find out. Holy moly! All right, the legacy does live on. And you know what? It lives again. It's live again. Listen to the song.
I need to know that this time is real. I lost myself along the way. Lies to all, yeah, lies to us all.
So Bobby is now working with Tony Reed. Tony Reed is the lead guitarist of this new reformed Pentagram. And I think this is the best move that Bobby has made because Tony Reed is such an asset in music. He's not only a great guitarist and a great singer, he's also a great recording engineer. So Tony has done his magic on this record completely. And here, listen to another part of Live Again.
You don't know me, yeah, I wanna live again. They'll never catch me, I roam the moon till the end.
The lyrics are very personal on this record, and I find that Bobby is really singing from the heart, and with the amazing musicians that he's playing with on this, it just makes sense that these guys are just bringing the groove. They're bringing the hard rock back. And I think this might be the best sounding Bobby we have heard. This might be the most healthy Bobby we have heard as well. He sounds amazing. His voice sounds so much better than he has in previous records. It seems like he's not doing as much of the hard stuff that he's done before. Hard stuff, I mean drugs. So yeah, it's important that a band like Pentagram keeps going, and it's important that a band like Pentagram, can find new members here and there. And I know that there's massive shoes to fill for Tony Reed, following the footsteps of Victor Griffin, but damn, I think Tony is doing an outstanding job on this record. The record sounds great, the legacy lives on, and you know what? These are damn big shoes to fill, but holy shit is this lineup doing a big job. So let's just talk about this lineup right now. So singing, obviously, we have Bobby. Guitar, we have Tony Reed. Tony Reed is the heaviest of heads. You know, the greatest master, I think, in the stoner rock scene right now. And then we have Scooter. Scooter Haslip has been playing with Mos Generator, which is Tony Reed's band, for a number of years. So that's a familiar musician that Tony has worked with. And then one of my all-time favorite drummers in the scene, Henry Vasquez. He has played with Legions of Doom, he's played with Spirit Caravan, he's played with Saint Vitus. This dude is an icon, and he is, like I said, one of my all-time favorite drummers. So just listen to this tune, which is my favorite song on this record, called Spread Your Wings.
Spread your wings and fly away, lady, to a world that makes you crazy. I keep telling you over and over and over again. Yeah, coming down hard like a shining glass fell from your hand. You're picking up the pieces and you're trying to start over again. Well, the problem here, child, you just ain't been loved like you should. Leave it up to me, and you know it's surely would. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't need to worry. We got the heavy and hard-hitting drums by Henry. We have the insanely catchy and hard riffs by Tony. And we have Scooter just laying that bass groove throughout the whole thing. We have nothing to worry about, all right? I know that these are very big shoes to fill joining Pentagram with the legacy that they have. But who cares? It sounds like Pentagram. You know, hell, it looks like Pentagram. Like, check out the album cover. It looks great. You know what I want on this record? I would love to hear some of Tony Reed. I know you guys seen my review of Big Scenic Nowhere. Tony Reed is singing all over that, and his voice is amazing. Have you heard their cover of Sarah's Smile? It is unbelievable. Tony Reed has one of my favorite voices in stoner rock. And why didn't Bobby ask Tony to sing? Why didn't Tony step up and want to sing? For sure, Pentagram is Bobby, but what the hell, man? Having an amazing singer on his right hand, why weren't they sharing vocals? Why wasn't Tony singing and then Bobby would come back and then Tony would sing and then Bobby would be on the forefront singing his head off? Like, listen to the song Solve the Puzzle.
Just try to solve the puzzle. You're taking off the muzzle. Don't wanna bust your bubble. Have you been staying out of trouble?
You know, we just got a little bit of Tony Reed on the background vocals there, and listen to I'll Certainly See You in Hell.
It won't be long. Don't waste your time. 'Cause more than one world has known your kind, yeah.
You see, it sounds good, but I want more Tony on this. For sure we're getting his riffs, you know? This sounds like Tony Reed was mastering this, because he was. Tony Reed recorded this. But I really would love if Tony was singing on this. More distinct vocals by Tony Reed. I vote for that in the next record, damn it. Is it possible to break your neck from headbanging so much because these riffs are so damn heavy? Yeah, it is possible. And this record is covered in tasty licks. Listen to Thundercrest. All right, you just heard Thundercrest. Is your neck okay? Do we need to call a doctor? Because this is just headbanging central. It is riff central all over this. I really hope that Bobby had some say on, you know, what these riffs were sounding like, because I know Tony Reed damn sure killed it on these riffs, and Scooter and Henry just holding in that back end. This lineup is just unbelievable, and the licks are all over this record. Every single song. You know, if you have the original version, you have 11 songs, and if you have the deluxe version, you have 14 songs, and all 14 of those songs kick ass, man. You know, these notes I had here, it says insane opening riff on Thundercrest, and you know, you go to solve that puzzle, background vocals, heavy chugging riffs, and then my other point here, lightning in a bottle, the heavy riffs are in the very beginning. Dude, All of my notes say everything about this being hypnotically heavy, and these riffs are outstanding. And that's what this record is all about. It's about bringing that riff back. And you know what, Victor Griffin? I think you would love this record.
Under duress, it was such a mess. I'm less than blessed. I gotta climb over your thunder crest.
So there's two versions of this album. You have the regular version that is a single LP, non-gatefold. I think it's non-gatefold. Heavy Psych Sounds, correct me if I'm wrong here. So 11 songs on the original album, and there's a deluxe edition with bonus tracks. There's 3 bonus tracks on the deluxe. And on the deluxe edition, it has a song called Lady Heroin. Let's listen to that song.
Spin me around like a Ferris wheel, never caring how I feel. You know you're breaking my heart. Spin me around like a Ferris wheel, never caring how I feel. Know you're tearing me apart.
Have you guys seen that documentary called Last Days Here about Bobby? And I hate to say it, it was almost like watching Intervention. It was a wild, wild documentary. It had Bobby at his absolute worst.
Been addicted to heroin for 39. You know, I want to live.
And then it had Bobby near the end of his absolute prime. And you know what? I met Bobby. Here are a couple pictures of Bobby and I. Bobby and I and Dave Sherman, rest in peace to the Sherm. And Bobby, Reg, and I, and we're holding some Pentagram records here. Lady Heroin, it makes my skin sort of crawl because it reminds me of the documentary when Bobby was just so strung out and he couldn't get off whatever he was doing. You know, watch the documentary to find out the amount of things that Bobby was ingesting into him for like almost 40 years. It's scary. And Bobby did an amazing job. He seems healthy, but Lady Heroin, we do not need 2 versions of this song. I think the bonus one sounds so much better. We do not need 2 versions of this song. I think it's sort of a waste of space to have it as a bonus track when we already have it on the record. You know, it seems almost lazy to me. You know, one of the lyrics from the song is, I haven't seen the last of you, you know, and he's talking about Lady Heroin. And dude, I hope it is the last we've seen of him, because we do not need Bobby going back on this. We don't need these guys leaving the band and Bobby trying to find a new batch of people to play with him. Like I said, there's a long laundry list of people, and a lot of people didn't want to play with Bobby because they were worried, was he going to be able to make it on stage? Was he going to be strung out in the back room? Who knows? But right now, from what it sounds like on this record, he sounds healthy, and he sounds the best that we have ever heard him. But again, we don't need 2 versions of the same song. They could have at least added a bonus track of a different song that we've never heard. 2 versions? Come on. Lazy. I think this record's great. You know, Lady Heroin, there only needs to be 1 version. This is covered in tasty licks. You know, I want more Tony Reed vocals. This is probably the heaviest and most impactful lineup yet. I think these guys have an amazing sound. These guys are meshing well together, and having Tony Reed record this changed, I think, everything and the way that Pentagram sounds. I think earlier records of Tony Reed was recording would sound unbelievable. I know that some of the stuff has been remastered by Tony, but man, the recording of this is unbelievable. There are a couple things I don't like. There's things I love about this. And that's why I am giving this 4.1 Bobby wearing a nice paisley shirt out of 5. I am sorry to whoever is editing this to find a picture of Bobby wearing paisley. That's my review, man. I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think. I want you guys to tell me if Pentagram is Pentagram without Victor, because I know that is one of the main things about Pentagram is when Bobby met Victor, that is everything. But without Victor on this, I think all of the diehard Victor fans can appreciate what this album sounds like. Shoutouts! And these are the most shoutouts I've ever done, and I'm gonna do rapid fire here. So the first one, we got Bronco, self-titled, on Magnetic Eye Records, coming up February 28th. Do you guys know Toke? Toke are one of my all-time favorite bands. Sadly, the guitarist had an insanely bad accident, and now Toke is no more, but Bronco is coming back, leaving where Toke left off. Check that out. That's coming up February 28th. And then coming up February 7th, we have Toronto hard rockers infused with Motorhead and Thin Lizzy, early Tombs, and the album is called Misery Lights, and that's on Deadbeat Records. These guys are amazing. I love three-piece rock and roll. These guys are bringing the rock and roll there. I'm actually headed to the guitarist's bar after this. Shout out to Thirsty and Miserable. That place kicks ass. Up next, we have another Canadian band, Ontario band. I know, Canada, right? What are we doing? But we have amazing music, and up next we have Bonnie Trash, and the album is called Mourning for You, and that's on Hand Drawn Dracula. That is out February 21st, and rumor has it there's a wicked song on this album that has an insane drone sequence. I'm leaving it at that. You gotta wait for that record coming out February 21st. And also coming out February 21st, we have splits. I love split records. Temple of the Fuzzwitch and Soom. Temple of the Fuzzwitch from Detroit. We got Soom from Montreal. These guys come together and made an amazing sludge album, and that is on Black Throne Productions, and that is coming out also February 21st. And then a record that is out right now, Mountain Dust self-titled, and that is not on any record label because listen to the music, they do not need a record label to promote this record. They'll sell these damn records. It's like, you know, bluesy hard rock, and it would pair well with Familiars. Familiars and Mountain Dust work together, damn it. And that is the review. I don't need these papers. I'm throwing them. We're done. I'm walking out this door right now, and you will see me again on the next review. Rock and roll.
Calling down hard like the shiny glass fell from